As you know, I'm Kainton the Genius, and today I'm going to be giving you 5 different reasons you should not study computer science. And this is very important. Actually, 2 years ago I made this same video, and many people actually complained and say I shouldn't have done it, that I don't have any reason to give. But ask yourself at the end of the day, what point is he really making? Can I actually take something from what he's saying? So just ask yourself at the end of this video. So we're actually going to be looking at well thought out reasons, points that actually have been researched on based on my experience, based on experience of many other computer science. For instance, this is what Bill Gates, listen to what Bill Gates says about programming.
Of doing more complex programs where people who were great programmers would look at my work, give me feedback on it, and you can be quite a good programmer. And it was kind of such an intense activity between the age of 13 and 17 that we learned a lot. Eventually, one of the programs we took on was the idea of the scheduling of our school. When should the classes meet? Who should be in which sections? They have all these requests.
That is how it is. Before I actually go into this explanation, let me outline the premise upon which I base my arguments. If you're already a computer science student, or you have already studied computer science and you have a job and you are doing a good job and you are happy with your job as a computer science professional, no problem, you're welcome to skip. Or you can actually stay and actually use what I'm going to say to help some other persons, maybe your children, maybe your relatives, and stuff like that. Also, if you know exactly what you want to do, going to study computer science for 4 years or 5 years, then you are welcome to also skip. If you know exactly what you want, because this is critical. If you just want to have a bachelor's degree in computer science, that is just what you want, and then you're also welcome to skip. But if you want to make the best out of your time spent in school, the reason is because 4 years or 5 years, for me just 5 years, I should have done better. 4 years in school is a long time. If you want to get knowledge of programming, or you want to become a computer professional like me, or you want to become an expert in some area of IT, then you should listen to me to know what are the alternatives there to be able to make good use of your time. Take, for instance, you spend 4 years in school, and then at the end of the day, somebody spends 6 months to 1 year learning some particular specialized area of computer science, and he actually becomes better than you, or maybe is more useful in the industry than you. And then what then do you benefit having this 4 years spent in school outside a small piece of paper called the degree or the certificate or stuff like that? So let me just briefly give you my own experience, just briefly, before I give you these 5 reasons I've outlined. I actually started studying computer engineering. That was way back in time when computer engineering was actually the focus, because everybody wanted to go into IT. That was in the early 2000, 2001, and stuff like that. So I decided to study computer engineering. What I wanted to do, my focus at that time was to be able to get into the server room, reprogram the systems, be able to control things remotely, be able to write softwares that will be used in industries, will be used online and things like that. By then, I never had a computer. I actually have not seen a computer as of that time. I made this decision in the late 90s when I was a kid. So I was kind of blindly making this decision. These are my goals. These are things I wanted to do. I actually have read a lot. I've watched some movies about technology, and I actually have a direction. I don't know exactly how to get there, but I see people doing these things. I read about Bill Gates. I read about Steve Jobs. I read about Paul Allen and Ada Lovelace and Charles Babbage and a whole lot of these researchers. And I actually wanted to get there. And I felt the best way to do that is to study computer engineering, and that was basically the reason. So somehow it's a naive way of doing things. But at the end of the day, I found out that I could actually have reached my destination without spending 5 years trying to get a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. Let me give an example. For instance, when it came to internship, I decided to do an internship in a company, it's an oil company, GE. By then it was Baker Hughes. So the first day I went to the office, I passed the interview, I passed all the processes, and at the end of the day, they introduced me into an office, the department where I'm going to actually work. So I look at the table, there's a computer there and a chair there, and they say you are going to sit there. This is your table, this is your boss, these are your colleagues, you are going to work with them. I say, what? I'm going to sit down on this chair in front of computer and a keyboard? I can't do it. Because what I envisage is that I should be in the server room, like in a server room where I have so many servers in a rack. I should be able to be programming the servers. I should be able to see many panels all over the place. I never intended to just sit down in a table and a chair with a keyboard and a mouse and be looking at the screen, because this is something I don't like to do, and that is what many people do every day. It's something I really don't like to do. That was not my intention. So after introducing me to these people, I simply walked out of that office, went to the HR, returned the offer letter, and walked out the gate of the company. And how it turned out, halfway home, I was called by the HR. I was called by as they discussed it among themselves with the head of department. There are some other persons there, because they found out that I have so much potential in me. So they actually called me and sat me down to explain things to me that I shouldn't behave this way, that how I behaved is a childish way of doing things. Actually, they would have let me and I just go my way, but they actually did so well. They explained things to me that there are other things you need to know, not just technical knowledge. You need to know about how to work with a team, how to work in a schedule, how to relate with people. Gradually, you may actually get to the server room to work with the IT guys. But for now, don't behave this way. You should stay in this department. Try to take instructions, and gradually things will clear out. So this is me. And I have to listen, because these are people I respected, people in the industry for a long time. I have to stay in the office. And every day I come to work, I actually was able to learn a whole lot of things sitting down on the screen. I learned JavaScript, I learned HTML, I learned how to write the scripts. And this is things I actually have good internet access every day. I was able to write all these things. I even tested my hacking skills, because I learned a bit of hacking. After writing the script, I actually tried to run it, and the antivirus software actually detected it as a virus. And later on, I was able to get into the workshop. I was able to work with these tools. They call it NWD Tools. So these are tools that take measurements while the drilling operation is going on. It's part of the SCADA system, where you have this systems that is connected to tools, and they acquire data, and you're able to analyze or see this data in real time. So that was my experience. So this internship, I actually later got involved with working in real computer systems, working with the servers, working with programming the systems, and eventually I was happy being there for the 6 months I was there. So what is the point? The point I was trying to make is, I had an objective. My objective is not just to get a bachelor's degree. My objective was actually to achieve something, to get to somewhere. I have a lighthouse in front of me. I want to get here. I've seen people that got there, Bill Gates and other people I read about. Not being rich. I'm not talking about being rich. That is not what I'm saying. I'm simply talking about having a focus, and this is where you want to go, and you want to follow it directly and get to that destination. So in choosing my internship, I made sure that the people I'm going to work with understand that this is what I want to do, and somehow I want to reach this destination. This is the objective. This is what I expect to get from this internship. Because in your school, if you are learning something, everything you do along the line, your internship, your industrial training, your project should align towards that destination. You should not just be spending time reading, learning, doing theory, doing mathematics and stuff like that, without having what you want to achieve or what you want to become at the end of the day. So that is my own story. At the end of the day, I actually achieved some objective, but I actually regret I should have done better in the time I spent in school, because I did engineering. It was 5 years as of that time. I should have done better. I should have used the time wisely. So if you are in school already doing computer science, at the end of giving these 5 reasons I'm going to give you right now, I'm going to also tell you how to make the best out of your time spent in school, how to get to the destination you want to get. And again, let me also make this very, very, very clear. You should have an objective. If your objective is simply to get a BSc, a bachelor's degree, too bad for you, because a bachelor's degree on its own is actually useless. It will not help you if you don't have some skills, if you don't have some things in your head. You should have some well thought out practical or technical objective, not just theoretical, and then you'll be able to reach this objective. So let's now look at these reasons. Actually, it seems 5 or 6 reasons I'm going to give you why you should not study computer science. One of them is the history, or let's look at the legacy left by great computer scientists or great computer professionals in history. So these people, for instance, I've told you about Bill Gates. He actually did he was in school to study, I don't know exactly the course, but eventually he actually left the school to be able to build up his skills in programming. Actually, he says that between the years of 13 and 17, that was when he acquired the knowledge he needed as a programmer. So there is not something about being in school, following some curriculum strictly. It's about having the will, having the drive to be able to learn. So at this age of between 13 and 15, he was able to acquire much of the knowledge he knew as a great computer professional in history. And many other people like that were actually famous for their works in computer without actually focusing on the degree as a computer scientist or stuff like that. Actually, there are people in history who actually were computer scientists, but this is what they are. They are scientists. They want to be scientists. They want to create new knowledge. They want to do research. They want to sit down in the lab trying to research, reading and writing. If that is what you want to do with your life, just be restricted inside the lab. I think somebody called them Charles Babbage. I think he did some works in that way. Yeah, he created the analytic engine or stuff like that. So you need to actually know what you want to do. So if this is what you want to do, no problem. But the key thing is, if you don't have some objective, then don't study computer science. Don't go study computer science. What are the alternatives? I'm going to let you know in a minute. So the next thing is, so the reason I've given, the first reason is the legacy left by great programmers or the great computer professionals in the past tells you that you can actually get to your destination without having to spend the time in BS doing some bachelor's degree, following some curriculum strictly as a computer scientist. Let's now look at the next reason. The next reason is that the definition of the term computer science has actually become very, very vague. So, for instance, we talk about science as trying to know, right? Trying to know, not actually using. Engineering is having to apply science, or science have to do with studying the theories or creating new theories of how things happen. Actually, when we talk about pure science, it doesn't have anything to do with practical. And if that is what you want to do, I doubt, then most likely you should proceed. But if you want to do something very meaningful, know that the definition of the term computer science has actually changed. Computer science in the 90s is different from computer science at this time. Computer science in the 80s and 70s or 60s is completely different from what it is now. What do I mean? At that time, computer science may cover a whole lot of things. It may even cover building the processors, the theories, how the processors work, how information flows, the information theory and decision theories, and a whole lot of theories transformed into practical. But now, what is computer science? What do you expect to learn in computer science? Do you want to go to learn these theories? Do you want to do something that you will make impact in the society, like building a system, an information system? Then you don't need computer science to do that. If you want to build something that will make impact in a greater society, to impact people's life, then you don't need computer science to do that. So the second reason I will clarify is that computer science now has become abstract. So if you are going in there, you actually don't really know, for all practical purposes, what you're actually going there to do. Are you going to learn web programming? Are you going to learn data science? Are you going to learn some kind of engineering and stuff like that? So definition of the term computer science has become vague. Even the term computer now is becoming vague, because things like phone or things like tablets, things like the car, what you have in your car, the computers that power the car, they are actually computers, but they are in different areas, field of study in information technology generally. So what actually are you going there to do? What do you want to learn? It's not clear. It's very ambiguous. So the second reason is that definition of the term computer science and the term computer has actually become very, very vague and ambiguous. And many schools continually change their curriculum, so you don't actually really know exactly what you're going there to do. Let's now look at the third reason. Reason number 3, for many schools, actually have not gone to study all the universities around the world, but for many universities, the curriculum is now restricted. So what is happening is that as computer science now, you see the first part has to do with some mathematical theories of mathematics, which actually for all practical purposes is very useless, because you don't actually need all this mathematics to be able to be a good computer professional. So curriculum now for many schools is now restricted to theories of mathematics, a bit of programming, a bit of web without going too far. Some actually focus more on logic, on logic or digital, like the digital systems and stuff like that. So this lack of centralization makes it difficult, that you actually don't know what the outcome is going to be. So the third reason is that curriculums for many schools is very restrictive. Again, I'm saying all this in a particular premise, that if you are going in there to learn something, try to have a direction. If you have a direction, no problem. But if you actually don't know exactly what you want to do, then don't study computer science. So that you don't misunderstand my point. Let's look at the next part. The next aspect is that a whole lot of instructors around the world are not well grounded in the field of IT. So let's say you have this idea of what you want, and then you're getting into an institution or to a university where many of the instructors are not grounded in the particular area you actually want to improve on. That becomes a problem. That was reason number 4. Reason number 5, if you simply focus on learning computer science, restrict yourself to the school or to what the school offers, then you end up lacking specialization, right? The reason is because computer science, as I mentioned before, is vague, so you need some specialization. What do you think? Do you need to study for 3 years and then specialize in the last year, only 1 year? Or do you need to specialize on something for the whole 4 years, you become an expert in a particular area? So going into this science and starting with all these theories in computer science makes you kind of lose your specialization. So at the end of the day, you find out that you may not be able to attach somewhere. Will you be a software engineer? Will you be a database analyst? Will you be a data scientist and stuff like that? So kind of you lack the needed specialization if you are not careful. Again, the reason number 6 this time is that many of the schools focus on unnecessary theories. The reason is because the schools sometimes they have a backlog of books or materials or resources they have decided to use to teach computer science in the schools. And these books, they are actually theoretical books. They have some practical, we know, but the focus actually most times is theoretical. So many institutions, reason number 6, focus on the theories. I can give you an example of myself in my own school. I don't know about all the schools. Let me not let me not generalize too much. I'm actually saying about for a large number of the time, many of the schools actually focus on the theories. So these are some of the reasons you should not study computer science if you are not sure exactly about what you are doing. So let me recap this 6 reasons. 1, great computer scientists or great computer programmers or professionals of the past, I gave example of Bill Gates, were not focused on computer science. Actually, they left computer science. Second, the definition of the term computer and computer science now has become very, very vague. We don't even know exactly what a computer is. Then number 3, the curriculums have become restrictive for the most part of the institutions or universities around the world. The curriculum has become restrictive. Reason number 4, many of the instructors out there are not well grounded in the field of computer science and what it takes to impart this knowledge to people. And reason number 5, I think this is number 5 now, you end up maybe lacking specialization in a particular field. Reason number 6, many schools around the world actually focus on the theories of computer science than the practical knowledge that they need to impart to the students. So the question now is, what should you do? What are the alternatives? So instead of spending 4 years trying to get a bachelor's degree, what actually are the alternatives there for you? Actually, you can use 1 year or even less than 1 year to become something you want to be in terms of knowledge of IT and computer science. So one thing you can get into is web programming. So I'm not saying that you should go to watch videos in some online courses and then take all these online things. That is not the point. There are institutions you can actually go in India, in US, in different countries. There are institutions that offer specialized courses in IT. Let me not say computer science, in IT. So one of them is web programming. So if you're a web programmer, that means you should be able to learn skills like Node.js for now. At this time, Node.js is okay. JavaScript, TypeScript, ECMAScript, and all these scripts can help you build web logic or build web systems that power the web, build information systems that actually that will be online and will be useful to people around the world. So web programming is a viable alternative for you. Another thing that you can also go into as an alternative is data science. Actually, data science now, as they used to say, it's not just a hot career path, but it's an essential skill for the 21st century. That is what they normally say. And I believe them, that is true. You don't need to get into a university to do a bachelor's degree to be a data scientist. You actually can learn it in some institution that can actually impart this knowledge to you. There are good instructors there that can actually give you the required knowledge. Another option there is database management. Now, database management is very, very important. It's different from data science because they are related. Both of them have to do with data. But database management, although it's actually being replaced gradually, well, let me tell you a little about database management. One thing about database management is that the horizon of databases is changing gradually. We used to talk about databases before, and later we are talking about relational database, and later we are talking about non-relational database. Later we start talking about NoSQL. We are talking about document store, key values and stuff like that. So we see that you need to keep up to speed with this. So if you decide to go into database management, I see that you have almost unlimited things you need to get into. And in this way, you're able to work with people that build other systems. You can actually add these two together. You can add web programming, database. You can add programming, database management. You can actually build end-to-end system. Like people, they say they are full stack developers. They're actually not computer scientists. They are full stack developers. You can do the back end, the server side programming, the client side programming, the database aspect of it. So if you are smart enough like me, you can actually combine all this together and be what you want to be, instead of spending these 4 years in some place sitting down looking at a blackboard or a whiteboard, someone scribbling things on the board, and you've taken notes on your books, writing some midterm exams and things like that. You can actually do better than all this. We also have data analytics. Data analytics is different from data science. Make no mistake about it. Data science is a bit in-depth. So data science have to kind of go down to data to analyzing data, not just analyzing data, but actually learning some of the theories of data, some of the mathematical theories as it relates with data. Analytics is more like at the user end. You have to learn how to use analytics tools to be able to make decisions based on the data, right? So for instance, we have Microsoft MSRS, Microsoft Reporting Services, Microsoft Analytics Services, and we have, yes, so we also have Microsoft Power BI and other tools. There are a whole lot of tools. Now everything is kind of in the cloud, because I was making a lesson before now on Azure ML, so machine learning studio in Azure. So with this you can actually become a good data analyst. You're able to create insights using data you've received. Now you can combine data analytics and data science. That makes you an expert, and this is something better can do or learn in a lesser time frame than going to do 4 years in the school, learning some theories there. And finally, you can also get into graphics. Graphics, that's very, very important, because there has been explosion in videos. People prefer learning by videos at this time more than learning by reading or learning by writing and stuff like that. People learn by videos. So they have been focused recently in the recent years on videos. So if you're able to learn graphics, you should be able to produce, to create videos, to combine ideas into a way you can present it to people and it makes sense. So this is something also very important. We call it graphic design. Maybe they'll call it video production. There are many names, but all this has to do with creating visual content that will actually present the information to people in a way that will be clear and concise and easy for them to understand. So again, I'm going to actually be rounding off here. I'd like to thank you for being there. Don't get it wrong. You can study computer science, but if you are not sure what you want, then don't get into there. Use these alternatives I have provided for you. In a shorter time frame, 1 year, 1 year and 6 months, or even less than 1 year, you can actually become an excellent computer science professional, or an excellent computer professional. Very, very useful in the industry. Can even impart this knowledge in others if you are like me, because my focus now is to share my knowledge with everyone. So if this has made sense to you, please share it around, because I wanted to get to as many as possible, so that instead of spending these 4 years of our life or 5 years somewhere, you can actually use 6 months or less time to get what you want and then move on to something else. And there are many people out there that don't really know what to do. So I really want to reach out to them. Also, let this get to them, and like this video and let me know what you think, because I'm not perfect. I can actually have some things I skipped. I may not have said it in the right way. Let me know in the comment box. Are there some other reasons why we should not study computer science that you can figure out? Also, let me know in the comments. Are there some other alternatives, more feasible alternatives than to computer science? Also, let me know in the comment box. Let's discuss this, and in this way we can make better use of our time and make the best out of our learning experience. I remain Kindson the Genius, and I'm always there for you.